Hi guys, my name is Bobby and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm doing my Thrillerathon TBR. Now, I hadn't originally planned on doing Thrillerathon because February is the shortest month of the year and it's already hard enough to try to get as much reading done as you can in the month of February. But I was watching BookTube yesterday, day before last, Monday? I can't remember. My brain is so messed up. We are in the middle of like the snowpocalypse. I'm sure they've said it on the news depending on where you are. I live in the Pacific Northwest in the United States, so I live in Washington State, where we rarely get snow. Rarely get snow, like hardly ever. In my little town, they had gotten rid of all of the snowplows because we never got snow. Like there was no reason for us to have them. And yeah, snowpocalypse happened, so while all the rest of the country's in the polar vortex, we were sitting over here totally fine, happy, like 45, 50 degrees, no big deal. Then all of a sudden, we ended up with our own little mini polar vortex. It has snowed. Let's see if I can put it into context. So we never get snow here, like rarely. Like we had the most snow like that they recorded in Seattle, which I live north of Seattle. But the recorded amount of snow they had in Seattle was the most ever in February, and it was like the highest on record since 1940 something, I think. And like this time of year, it's just ridiculous. So in my little tiny town, we got 8 inches of snow, or almost a foot. No, it was 11 inches, 10 or 11 inches of snow within 2 days. That is ridiculous for us. We do not get that much snow. Usually here when it snows, it's a dusting, an inch, maybe 2, and it's gone in a day. No big deal. So we've been kind of like crazy, so my brain's a little fried. My husband and kids have been home for the past 4 days. I've been the only one going to work. They've been shutting down my husband's work, and they haven't had school. So today's the first day that they've had school, even though they don't have school tomorrow. But they're at school today. My husband just left for work because I'm filming this on Valentine's Day. This will probably go up today as well. And so he has to go to work because he is a chef in a restaurant. So he just left for work, and he won't be home until later. I have 2.5 hours by myself. So if you're a mom, you understand where I'm at right now. This is where I'm going to film as much as I can right now, and I'm going to enjoy the quiet. I'm going to make food and eat the food that nobody else can touch. Anyways, sorry. That was a tangent. That has nothing to do with Thrillerathon, but I need to get that out. I need somebody to just be like, I got you. I understand. Because, anyways, Thrillerathon is hosted and created by Harriet Rosie. I will link her announcement channel down below. The readathon takes place from February 18th through February 24th. There are 6 challenges. I guess this is the 3rd iteration of it. She does it biannually, so she did, last year was her first year doing it. She did one in February and then another one in August, so now she's doing it again in February, and she'll have a summer edition in August. So I figured, you know what? I read a really intense book that I finished a couple of days ago. You heard about it in my wrap-up, that really emotionally drained me, and books don't usually affect me that way. And so I was telling Vicky, it was like, God, I really need something to pick me up. And she's like, oh, well, I just read kind of a downer book, and I'm reading this book to help pick me up, and she's reading another Anne of Green Gables book. And then there's me, oh, I should pick up a thriller. You know, she goes, I can't believe for you a thriller is like comfortable and like makes you feel good. Because I told you I have no soul. Yeah, I mean, So when I saw this, when I was watching BookTube the other day, another BookTuber that I follow is participating, I figured it was like, oh my God, that's perfect. It's a week long. There, you know, there's no book limit, like you need to read this amount of books or whatever, but there are 6 challenges, and I've picked 4 books to go with the 6 challenges, so 2 of them are overlapping. 2 books will overlap challenges, because I know with my work schedule and everything else that's going on, there's no way that I'm going to be able to read like 6 books in a week. So I'm going to try to read 4. None of these are really that big or long. One I'd already intended on reading this month, so it's not really that big of a deal. But anyways, like, let's get into the challenges. So the first challenge is read a thriller that you're most anticipating. And this book that I'm using is also doubling up for challenge number 5, which is revisit a thriller or an author. So either reread a thriller or an author of thrillers that you enjoyed before. And for that, I'm going to read Watching You by Lisa Jewell. This was already kind of on my TBR, is like, you know, we'll see if we get to it if I need a thriller palette cleanser. So I had just read a Lisa Jewell book, I Found You. Yeah, I Found You. I read that last month and I really enjoyed it, and I liked her writing style, so I figured I'd give this a shot. Watching You takes place in Britain, and it's about a group of people who live in this neighborhood. like, I started it a little bit before I stopped, and it was like, I only got like 20 pages in before I stopped. I'm like, no, I'll read it for Thrillerathon. But it has multiple perspectives of these people living in this neighborhood, and it all surrounds a death. Like, it first starts out and somebody has died in this neighborhood. I'm pretty sure it's the one that everybody's obsessed about. There is this man who lives in this neighborhood that everybody seems to be obsessed about for one reason or another. So it sounds really interesting. I really liked her writing style, and I really enjoyed I Found You, so I figured this would be a nice, easy one to get through. And I have another book of hers that's in my TBR closet pile as well. So, you know, Lisa Jewell seems to be one that's almost an auto-read author for me. And so that's why I'm revisiting it, and I'm also anticipating it because I enjoyed her other ones so much. Okay, so challenge number 2 is read the thriller that has been on your TBR the longest. Now, this is on my Kindle app, because I went through all of my thrillers, and all the ones that I have physically, I haven't had for all that long, but I have a ton on my Kindle that I've had for at least 2 to 3 years. Because a lot of them I started adding after I got really deep into Goodreads and started following people that I really enjoy and that I really like what kind of books they read and the reviews that they gave. And then I went into the BookTube rabbit hole. But this one is because I think Chelsea Humphrey had read it. And it's called The Girl in the Ice. I'll insert her picture here. I do not remember the author. I think it's like Greg Bezorka. I shouldn't even attempt it. Like, I honestly have no idea. But it's been on my TBR for like 2 to 3 years. So I will be reading that one. That one is about, it's also a British, it's like about a DI, I think they call him, a detective inspector, and she's following a serial killer. It's the first in a series. I think there's like 5 or 6 books now in the series that follows the same female DI who, you know, solves these cases or whatever, and I believe she does mostly serial killers. So this is book 1 in that. Like, I remember I tried reading it a long time ago, but I wasn't in the mood for it, so, and that was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, so we'll see. But that one is on for the longest on my TBR. Number 3 is read your most recent added thriller to your TBR, and the book I'm using for this is also going to double up for challenge 6, which is read a thriller that someone else has recommended. I have seen this thriller all over BookTube, and I've heard that it's super creepy and all that, and that's why I bought it in the first place. So yeah, and it's my most recent acquired, and that's Baby Teeth by Zoji Stage. Zoji, I think that's how you pronounce that. But this is about a little girl who is murderous. Apparently she loves her father but hates her mother, and so I don't know if this is like she's a sociopath or a psychopath, but creepy kids, sign me up. I love like creepy kids or creepy kid killers. So, and this one's also fairly short, like just about 300 pages, and I've heard quite a bit of good things about it, so this one I should be able to read rather quickly. And then the last challenge, which I know these challenges kind of went out of order, is number 4, read the thriller with the best cover. So I scoured through my stacks and found one that I thought had a pretty cover, and what originally drew me to this book was the cover initially, and then I found out it was a thriller. So I had it on my Goodreads TBR for a long time, but I just actually recently bought it. So I bought it with the same time I bought Baby Teeth, so it very well could also double for that as well. And that's Jaw of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. I've heard a lot of good things about this one. There was a couple mixed reviews, but most of this is pretty positive. This is about a woman who has her life together, has a really good job, from what I remember. Like, the synopsis isn't that great. She has a really good job, and one of her friends disappeared back when they were teenagers and was presumed dead. And now it's been like 15, 20 years later, and they found her body, and they realized that she was a victim of a serial killer. And the serial killer happens to be the main character's ex-boyfriend from when they were also teens. And, you know, he is, like, they had like an obsessive relationship, and so they think that she had a part in her friend's murder, so they pick her up, haul her off to jail kind of deal. So it seems really interesting and really intriguing. I love stories with serial killers, first of all, and I love stories where, like, you end up in jail for whatever reason. I like seeing that kind of prison culture. I don't know, but it sounded really interesting, so I'll be reading this one. So that is it. This is my, you know, TBR tentatively. Hopefully I can get the 4 books read in, you know, in the week. Usually I do pretty decent. Like October when I did 2 readathons, the one I did really well at, the other one I didn't do as great. But usually readathons motivate me to read more. I've already finished 4 books. Yeah, I've already finished 4 books this month. I'm almost done with the 5th one. I only have about 100 pages left. So already I'm on track to beat how many books I read in January, which is really good. February tends to not be that great of a reading month because it's so much shorter, and I tend to get bogged down with other things. My daughter's birthday's on Tuesday. My husband's birthday's next Thursday, so we have a lot going on in the month of February. So I'm pretty happy that I've already almost finished 5 books, and so I think I need this readathon. I need something to help kickstart me in to, you know, to keep going. And so, yeah, that's it, guys. That is my Thrillerathon TBR. Please let me know down below if you are going to participate or if you didn't know about it. Again, I will leave a link to Harriet Rosie's announcement video down below so that you can go check it out. Again, it starts on February 18th and goes through February 24th if you'd like to participate. Please let me know if you are. I'd love to talk to you guys about it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.